Wow. Wow, guys. The Wednesday morning, today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. The Wednesday morning bombshell. I thought I would have been doing this live a couple weeks ago at the latest, but here we are. Once that calendar hit October, I guess there was some urgency from both sides. However, it got done. So much to talk about, but welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And finally, guys, it's been a long time in the making. So many discussions on the interwebs, videos and articles and quotes and this and that. And here we are. Restricted free agent Luke Hughes has finally signed on the line, which is dotted, rejoining our beloved New Jersey Devils. And today is a great day. Oh, it's such a great day. I haven't even had my morning iced coffee yet. The sun's going to shine a little bit brighter. The birds chirping is going to sound a little bit better. Everything's going to be better today because on October 1st, Luke Hughes has signed, and we get to the Devils release from just moments ago, a mere moments ago. We're coming here in real time here. This is just coming across the wire. I'm fired up, guys. Wow, this is long overdue. Headline, Devils agree to terms with Luke Hughes on 7-year deal. Wish it was 8. I'm not going to get too much into that. 7 years is fine. We get to the meat and potatoes here. The New Jersey Devils announced today that the team has agreed to terms with restricted free agent defenseman Luke Hughes on a 7-year contract worth $63 million, $9 million annual average value. The announcement was made by President General Manager Tom Fitzgerald. He will join the club for practice on Thursday. Let's go. Hughes, 22, completed his second full season with New Jersey. The 6'2", 200-pound defenseman recorded 44 points after playing 71 games in 24-25. Hughes, 44 points, 37 assists, and 16 power play points led all Devils blue liners last season. His 21 minutes and 9 seconds ice time per game ranked second on New Jersey behind defenseman Brett Pesce at 21-19. Hughes made his NHL debut in April 2023 and has totaled 93 career points in 155 regular season games. He earned his first career goal on April 13th, 2023, an overtime winner at Washington. Hughes became the third player in franchise history whose first career goal was earned in overtime. Hughes was named a finalist for the Calder Memorial Trophy as Rookie of the Year in 23-24 after his career-high 47 points and 4 power play goals. He was also the 5th player in team history to be nominated for the Calder and the first Devils rookie since Adam Henrique in 2011-2012. Shout out to the great Martin Brodeur for winning Rookie of the Year in 1994. His 47 points in 23-24 marked the most for a rookie defenseman in a single season in the Devils team history since 82-83. The left-handed shot required the third fewest games for a defenseman to record his first 50 points in franchise history. The only players in franchise history who required fewer games are Barry Peck and Tapio Levo. Hughes played in his 100th career game this past season on November 27th versus St. Louis. He recorded a career-high 13 multi-point games in the 24-25 season, and on March 26-25, tied a career high with 3 points, 3 assists in a game. Born on September 9th, 2003, the Devils selected Hughes with the 4th overall selection in the 2021 NHL Draft. He signed his 3-year entry-level contract on April 8th, 2023, after his sophomore campaign at the University of Michigan. He totaled 87 points in 80 career games at Michigan and was named an alternate captain in his sophomore season. Hughes earned numerous accolades at Michigan, which include Big Ten All-Freshman and Big Ten First All-Star honors. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the rest here. Standard stuff. But it's happened. Lukey boy is back. Lukey boy is back. And glad to see it done. Came in exactly at what I've been saying for a few weeks now. $9 million on the head. Your boy once in a while gets some stuff right, and $9 million seemed like the number to me that, again, seemed pretty fair and seemed like the number where both parties may leave feeling a little dissatisfied, meaning Fitz, heading into this whole thing, likely would have liked to sign him for less. Obviously, we all would have. Right? The $8 million, 8.5 would have been great. Not this $9 million contract, I think, is phenomenal for the Devils. I think it's very good for Luke Hughes, but I do think Fitz probably paid a little more than he wanted to, and Luke Hughes was probably looking for a little bit more money. I mean, it is what it is. The happy medium was apparently $9 million times 7 years, which now takes him 2 years beyond Jack's contract. Then we have the whole Quinn thing kind of looming in the outfield. 2 years left on his deal in Vancouver. All indication at this juncture seems like we are just waiting to count down for Quinn Hughes to get here. I mean, wow. I'm going to get to your comments in a minute. I can't stay on here long. I got something to take care of. But breaking news, Lukey boy is back, finally ending the holdout. $9 million. Again, I'm very happy with it, and I think it was a great number for both sides, as I've said for the past few weeks. You know, a little more than Fitz wanted to pay, a little less than Luke wanted. Here we are, 7 years of Luke, 2 more years than Jack, and let the countdown to the Quinn Hughes joining the Devils begin. Whether the Devils trade for him before he's a free agent or he signs here on July 1st, 2027, I firmly believe this Luke deal was the big kind of the middle piece to getting all 3 Hughes brothers. Obviously, Jack was here. You're like, okay, once Luke is locked up, now it all makes sense. When Jack's eligible to re-sign and extend, hopefully he extends. Quinn's brought in at some point, and it seems like we are headed straight to the Hughes era, and I couldn't be happier. And for those of you wondering what those chicken wings on the thumbnail are, because I'm sure there's a lot of you are like, what the hell's what are those chicken wings on the thumbnail? And it's clearly the meat on the bone scale. Fitzy, one of my favorite Fitzy kind of philosophies is that he's talked about in the past that if guys want to be here, they want to play on a winning team, they want to build a winner, you got to leave a little meat on the bone in terms of your contract. You cannot try to gouge the organization for every penny you could get, because that leaves the team less flexibility to build an overall winner. We saw it in Florida. Obviously, tax-free state, a big advantage, and winning cures all. But Florida's a juggernaut, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and Bill Zito re-signed 3 big pieces, I should say, at super team-friendly deals in Brad Marchand, Ekblad, and Bennett. All took significantly less to return to the Panthers and keep that group together. And you gotta tip your cap to those guys that signed those deals and Bill Zito. The gold standard in the league right now, the Florida Panthers, they are an absolute force. Obviously, down Barkov, it could be a little bit of an impact for them. But in terms of leaving meat on the bone, the Panthers get it. And Fitz is trying to kind of cultivate that similar philosophy in New Jersey. If you want to be here, if you want to play for a competitive team, leave a little meat on the bone, sign somewhat of a team-friendly contract, and let the executives build the best possible team they can and stretch their cap dollars. We're living in a salary cap era. You cannot just go sign everyone. Obviously, the cap's going up, and, this is a function of the cap going up. You're going to see these contracts going up and up. But back to the chicken wings, you guys are like, what the hell are those? And that is the meat on the bone scale. The meat on the bone scale, and I will show you, for me personally, this is the meat on the bone scale. And this was for Luke. You see that first wing, there's a lot of meat left on that one. And I feel like for Luke, if he wanted to be super generous and leave all that meat on the bone, that would have been like an $8 million and under contract, which I never thought was happening. But I think there's a lot of optimistically delusional people that thought he might sign something like that. That was never, once the cap announcement came out, I knew that was a wrap. But that would have been wing number 1. And then you see wing number 2, still quite meaty. And that would have represented $8.1 million to $8.9 million, in my opinion. Still very team-friendly. Very team-friendly, and a lot of meat there. And that would have been 8.1 to 8.9. And then we get to number 3. Still some meat there, but a little bit more nibbled off. Not leaving as much behind. And that's number 3, and that's $9 million, and that's what it came at. And that's what I was gunning for. Leave some meat on the bone. No one's asking you to deprive yourself. But you can't take it all. And that's where he landed, which I think is perfect for both sides, for both Luke and the team. He's a number 3 wing right there. $9 million to $9.5 was that third wing on the chart. And then you see number 4, which would have been $9.6 to $10.5 million. There's not much meat left. I mean, there's a little meat. If this was a wing in your trash can and the raccoons got in there and ripped it open, they would get something off there. It's not a meal, but they would have found a little meat You could see it there. There's still some meat for that number 4, but then you go to number 5, and that would have been heartbreaking if that was the deal. Number 5, there is nothing. That is scraped clean. That would have been in the 10.6 and above range for me. No meat left whatsoever, but I'm happy with number 3. Plenty of meat left on the bone by Luke. Shout out to Luke, his team. Pat Brisson, super agent, was probably going back and forth with Fitz for quite some time, but he landed at a number 3. I think it's perfect. Thrilled for him to be here. $9 million. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Let me get to some of your comments real quick. Mike says, thank the gods. Suka, let's go. 63 million. Mike Ruff says, this took all summer and most of camp. Yes, it did. I mean, this is high stakes. And back to what I've talked about before, some contracts, and this is one of them, that is bigger than the individual player. Pat Brisson, super agent, obviously agent to the entire the entire Hughes family, Quinn and Jack, and tons of superstars around the league. McDavid, you could look up his client list. It's insane. And Luke is going to be one of these deals that's kind of used as a benchmark by other defensemen going forward, which there's a lot of pressure on Brisson from, his clients, the Players Association. It's not just Luke's deal. It's going to impact the deals that are signed going forward by guys kind of in his age and productivity and kind of career trajectory. So, when you're trying to set a market and in Brisson's best interest to keep salaries going up, they want to sign the biggest deal possible because it's only going to help the future guys get paid. And I think that's kind of a big part of it. And on the flip side, I'm sure the executives and GMs of the league didn't want Fitz to go and pay him $10.5 or $11 million and kind of set that benchmark for guys to then use going forward and keep it going up. So it's definitely a balance game, a little tug of war. Lots of parties with vested interests in this on both sides. And again, I think the $9 million is a great number for both sides. I'm sure there's some agents and, out there who have clients and they're like, damn it, this kid screwed us. But you have to understand that, all 3 Hughes brothers wanted to be here or want to be here, and got to leave a little meat on the bone. You can't expect max dollar and then to have all 3 Hughes brothers here taking up a huge chunk of the cap and then build a competitive team around them. We have lots of guys that are going to be getting paid after this season and beyond. Guys are going to want to get money. I'm curious, unrelated topic, how much meat is Nico going to be leaving? We're going to have to make a wing chart for Nico as well, but I do think hopefully that gets handled. But step 2 in the 3-step process here to bring Quinn Hughes, and it's only a matter of time. Morgan says it isn't 8 years, but I'll take it. Collect records. Cheaper than I thought by $250,000, so I'm all good with this. Let's go. Shaba, I'm glad that your live notification is how I found out. Let's go. Mark, what's the significance of a 7-year? Does it line up with anything else? No, I don't know. I'm sure they'll talk about this, either Fitz or I'm sure they'll give some kind of clarity as to why it was the 7 years and not the 8, but it goes 2 years beyond Jack's deal. I don't know. There could be something they thought down the line. I'm curious to know what the difference between the 7 and 8 is myself. Maybe we will get some clarity on that at some point. TJW37, in a perfect world, I would have wanted 8x8 to match Jack's deal, but as is the case with Jack's contract, this will look like an absolute steal in 2 to 3 years. And again, great point there. I never thought I did think the 8x8 was possible pre-cap news. If you guys remember, longtime viewers, a few months back, my prediction for Luke was 7 to 8 million from very long time ago. Once the cap news came out with the cap going up, I said, okay, that's the old number. It's going to have to go up a little bit. And it did. But like Jack's deal and all these guys, quite frankly, you have to take somewhat of a gamble. And I think this is a pretty safe one, but you're paying for future production and hoping to have a value deal, right? Is Luke worth $9 million this year? Hopefully he is. But there's a chance that you're like, okay, you might overpay for a year or two, but then in years 3 through 7 of the contract, he's just completely going off, having 60, 70-point seasons. And you say, wow, that $9 million that we invested early, if he was on the open market today, he might get 11 or 12. And that's not far-fetched whatsoever. You guys might, and I've been saying this for a few months as well, there's going to be contracts where your minds are just blown. There's going to be constant new highs, and you're going to be like, this guy's getting that much money because we're living in a whole new world. It's just straight to the top. And you saw yesterday, Kirill Kaprizov signing an NHL record deal over $16 million AAV. Billy Guerin, former New Jersey Devil, 1995 Stanley Cup champion, has now given out the biggest contract in NHL history. It will get broken probably by McDavid at some point, but for the time being, Kaprizov is the biggest deal ever, and you're going to continue to see these sort of things. And so for Luke at $9 million, you got to love it. Mike, I ran to YouTube. I was like, Ace is going to go live. You know me so well. Ryder64, dude, I was literally looking at 2 articles 2 minutes prior. Fire up YouTube and see this. There you go. Mike Ruff says, so now we can go get Quinn for $13 million in a few years. Yeah, and again, to complete the trifecta, Quinn is going to have to leave some meat on that bone as well. And the reality is, depending on what he does this year or next year, I mean, it shouldn't fluctuate too much in terms of production and his perceived value. But you're looking at a guy in Quinn Hughes who in 2 years from now, market value could be, the argument could probably be made that he's worth like $15 million. I'm just kind of spitballing a number here. But what is he going to take from the Devils? Hopefully a substantially, I'm hoping that Quinn's more of like a 2 on the wing chart. Leave a little more meat. Whatever it is, hopefully they figured it out, but I do believe that is the next step of the plan. And this is a big day. It is a big day. He's going to join practice tomorrow. I wonder if they'll throw him right into the preseason game at the Garden. But $9 million, gotta love it. Mike says they are crying hard in Vancouver right now. I mean, the fact that they thought they were ever even in this thing when we had one brother signed and then one on the verge of re-signing, I mean, it was just nothing more than delusional pipe dreams for Canucks fans. It is what it is. And my heart goes out to them knowing that, they're kind of watching the whole thing with Quinn, the captain, kind of 1 foot out the door. So it seems, but who knows? Rob, think they will trade for Quinn this year or wait to try and sign him when he turns free agent? I've talked about this a million times as well. It depends on, what they're asking for. I do think tons of teams would pay a pretty significant price in terms of assets to get Quinn, even if it was purely as a rental, whether that's, at the deadline this year, so they'd have him for the playoffs and then all of next season, even next offseason, or at the worst case scenario for the Canucks, most likely would be not the season coming up, the following season at the deadline when you'd literally have him only for the playoffs. Teams would pay a fair price. They would pay a big price for him, and I value getting him sooner than later. This team should be in win now mode. If it is feasible to make a deal with Vancouver to bring Quinn here right now, obviously, you're not going to trade any of the major pieces here, so it should put you in a better position to win the cup, and there is value to that. But I do not want the team to give up a ton of assets to get him sooner when he could sign here for no assets as a free agent. So it is a delicate mix. And who knows, maybe Vancouver just holds on to the very end and continues to try to sign him and it never works out and they end up never trading him. Then he signs with the Devils. But I do think he fully will be here. It's just a matter of when and how, but the sooner the better. Win now. This core is aging. We have win now goalies. We are in pretty good shape. Obviously our roster is not perfect, but I really do like it. I am excited for the season. There's a lot to be excited about. So we will see. But the countdown to Quinn is officially on. Jared says, hey, it's good to see the streams being more frequent. Season is almost here. We get a nice little preseason action with the Rangers tomorrow. Excited for Devils hockey in a new season. Let's go Devils. Absolutely. Zach, watching from work. Let's go Devils. Happy hump day. What's up, Zach? What's going on, Justin? What's up, Ace? P-Funk, Quinn Hughes will be a Devil. This is an amazing signing. Completely agree. Let the countdown begin. What a start to the morning. Let's go Wednesday. Let's go Wednesday. Justin says, welcome back, Luke Hughes. Allie, about damn time. What's going on, Maria? Oh, my God. Good morning, everyone. What a great morning indeed. Mason says about 3 million of meat on the bone. I think that's kind of fair. I would say between 2 and 3 million. But listen, you want to play with your brothers. Listen, the organization wants all 3 of them here. No mistake about it. But they also want it probably more than the Devils do. And quite frankly, you gotta give a little to get. To have all of the brothers on one team, Devils were in the driver's seat to make it happen. It obviously would have been a ton of magic tricks for any other organization in the league to make it happen, including the Canucks. And wow, what a day. I'm a little shocked. I didn't think this would be happening. Yo, Holmes, seems like a standard issue contract. What was the holdup? I guess someone had to flinch, right? Yeah, someone was holding the line, whether it was Fitz a little bit lower, them a little bit higher. At some point, it became a game of chicken. And here we are. But glad it's done. TJ, the Habs graphic is absolutely epic. Thanks. Nico says, not a ton of meat left on the bone, but this definitely isn't an overpay. Nico, I disagree. I think that was a number 3 on the wing chart. I think that is a nice amount of meat. He didn't completely cheat himself and go number 1 with all that meat left. Number 2 is a little meaty as well, and he's 3. I think that's a 3 on the. I think that's a solid 3 on the meat chart for me. On the meat left on the bone, I think that was team friendly. Was it the most team friendly deal on the planet? No, but was it team friendly? Absolutely, it was. It absolutely was leaving meat on the bone. And shout out to Luke and his team for making it happen. Let's build a juggernaut here. Let's bring Quinn here and let's win some friggin' cups. That's what this is about. The Stanley Cup. Gary says this contract is going to look really sweet very soon, kind of like a healthy Jack at an $8 million cap hit. Absolutely. Jim says, thank God it's done. Sir, I'll take it, but displeased with him in his camp. It is what it is. If he has a good season, I'll forgive it for the most part. At least the deal is good. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's business is business. I'm a very pro-player guy, but I try to be fair. Guys got to get paid, but as a fan of the organization, crest on the front before the name on the back, it's hard for me to – it sucks and whatever. Hopefully he comes out, doesn't skip a beat, but I'm not going to kill the kid for it or his camp. I mean, it was a tough negotiation. There's a lot hinging on this one for, again, players going forward, the whole thing of trying to bring Quinn here. So there's a lot more beyond just this deal. It has a lot of ramifications, a lot of ripple effect, and I get it. And it was a game of chicken, and here we are. That calendar hit October, and let's go. Traveling, what's going on? The suspense was worth it. V. Tafro, this might turn out to be the discount that Jack took in like 3 years. It potentially could be even sooner. We will see. We will see, but I think it's a great deal for both sides. Johnny, I want wings now. Jim says next is Jack, then Quinn. Jace, no, Luke's agent was definitely asking for a really high number. Probably the art of negotiation, right? You start at one point and hoping to land on another, and here we are. True Patriot, what's up? We needed to get that done. Paulie Walnuts, what's going on? Ace, job well done. You paid Luke and Jack a visit. Next thing you know, Luke is signed. Took Fitz months and got nothing done. Ace for GM. You're pretty funny. Johnny K says it's official. Luke signed before Ace finished setting up his background. It is. Jared, what is your realistic goal for the team this season? I think they should look to win a round of the playoffs and compete every night. Also, any young guys are excited about this season. The goal has to be much higher than winning a round. We won a round in 22-23. The time to win is now. The time to make the next step is now. Eastern Conference Finals or bust. There's not going to be too many young guys on the roster unless there's injuries, but there's a lot I'm excited about. But just keep an eye out. I'm going to have a series of videos coming out as we get closer to the season. Jesse says, I thought they were going to be looking at 6 or 7 times 9.5 or 10, considering how much he was holding out. So this ended up being a great deal. I agree. I thought we might eventually see this settled at closer to the 10 mark after this went on for so long, but I'm glad it came in at this 9. I think this is the perfect number, a 3 on the wings chart. Maria says, maybe Luke was getting ready to fire the agent after all. No chance, Maria. This guy is deep in the family, deep in the league. He is a power agent, and they probably knew going into this full well that this could kind of drag on for a little bit of time. They were probably prepared for this. Justin says, are there any issues with 7 years, Ace? No. I mean, the most they could have got was 8. So one less year, I don't know. Again, I hope we get clarification as to what the thought process was there. But I'm more than fine with it. It takes him 2 years beyond Jack. Hopefully when Jack is eligible to extend, he's extended. And it's just, then Luke extends down the line when he is. But not worried about that. We have both Hughes brothers for the next 5 years minimum. And I see no reason why Jack will not be here very long term along with Quinn. Jason says, Luke takes 7 years. He'll be 29 when his contract's up. James says, petition to change the meat left on the chicken wing to slices of Jersey pizza left in the box. James, we can't change it. That was Fitzy's golden meat on the bone is never going anywhere. That's a fixture. Did Kovacevic get put on LTIR? I have not seen that news yet. And who knows? Now we may see a trade to come to make the space for this, or we'll see the LTIR move. I think they have about a week or so before they have to be cap compliant. So we will see how this all gets settled. Yeah, Brandon, curious to see what subsequent moves for cap compliance. Doesn't that mean we don't sign Glendening? In a vacuum, you would think that it may pose a challenge for that, but Glendening's not going to want a lot of money, and we may see a trade. Who knows? Maybe this is the first of kind of a multi-step thing, or maybe we use the LTIR money. I'm curious to see how it all happens. Leon says, victory day for New Jersey Devils fans. Can't wait for the regular season to start. Jason, no, forget about it. Imagine dealing with Quinn Hughes for a new deal. I'd imagine that was probably discussed at least briefly during this whole process. Hopefully he doesn't look for a crazy amount of money, but it's going to be expensive. Quinn in a couple of years, no doubt, is going to be expensive. Cody, what do you think could be a trade or a contract for Quinn Hughes? I'm hoping in 2 years he signs here for $13 million. Maybe that's pipe dreams on my part. Maybe $14 million. We have to see what other deals are signed before then, what the cap officially is. Whatever his market value is, hopefully he's at least a 3 on that wing chart, and he leaves some meat on the bone. He's going to have to. You want to play with your brothers. You guys want to win a cup together, which would be phenomenal. Imagine the Devils winning a cup and we'd be clubbed over the head with it, and it'd be glorious. All of the triple Hughes brothers with the cup, the photos. Oh, man, what a visual. What a visual. Pro Bowl says, I feel like when Plot and Hamilton go, that's going to free up a bit of cap, not to mention the cap is going to be rising. Yeah. One or both of them at some point will likely be moved in one way or another. We'll see how it goes. Jesse says, love the meat on the bone chart. Never change, brother. Thanks. Chris, it's insane that he most likely rejected $8.5 million, which I'm assuming was brought up at some point. Yeah, but if they started at 10.5 or 11, you don't know where they started, but you always want to start higher than where you want to land. And obviously they didn't start at $9 million, and that's after weeks of intense negotiations. It's how we got there. Slurp says trade Edwards, Plot, and a draft pick for Quinn right now. Possibly swap out Edwards and insert Hamilton. Oh, Slurp, I think your numbers are your numbers. Your trade proposal is ridiculous. I think teams would give up way more than that. That's nowhere near getting it done. Right now, the teams would probably offer a roster player or two and 2 firsts at a minimum, and probably good roster players. It would take a lot for the Devils to get him, and that's why I'm perfectly fine with waiting till he's a free agent. Justin, glad it's done. Smash the like button for your boy Ace. Thanks. Hit the button for your boy. Nico, now he needs to get up to game speed quick. Not an easy start to the season here. No, not at all. But hopefully he hits the ground running and he doesn't miss a beat. For Devil, this felt like the Kovalchuk drama all over again. Now we can play hockey with peace of mind. I don't know about that. The Kovalchuk drama is like wild. Alex, just joining to explain how we were fitting it under the cap. No, I didn't see anything with that yet. We will see how they become cap compliant in the next week or so, whether that's a trade, a series of trades, putting Kovacevic and Nason, or they might not have, it's pretty close actually. They might just be able to, they might have the space of just putting Kovacevic on LTIR, but that is to follow in the next week. How do they come cap compliant? True Patriot just kind of talked about that. Gary, Eastern Conference Finals are bust for sure, especially with Barkov out for the season. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not cheering the guy's injury. I hope he has a speedy recovery. I never like to see guys get hurt, but the reality is with Barkov going down, that makes the road to the Cup Finals a little bit more wide open for Eastern Conference teams. And you're going to see GMs probably react accordingly. If you feel good about your group, chips are going in. Make a push. Win now. And with Barkov out in Florida, they're going to be slightly easier to take out. Now, they're not going to be an easy out for any team. Not going to be a walk in the park. Still a great team. Lots of great players. But without Barkov, they're definitely going to be in a little bit of a down year. Nico is king. If we get past the Hurricanes, I think we can make a serious run. That's a huge if. I would love to see us go on a run, which included knocking out the Canes. But if someone else knocks them out for us, I won't complain. I just want to see this team go far. Stefan, what's up, Ace? About damn time he signed. Now, let's hope he starts playing like he earned it. Greetings from Belgium. Yeah, I think we're going to see that from him. World's worst gamer for sure. Nico is 12.5 times, 8 years minimum. Only way we can fit him in Quinn Hughes is if the team hits on draft picks and guys on cheap contracts trying to find their game again. They'll figure it out. They will figure it out how to make it happen. I have full confidence that we will see it happen. Pro Bowl forever. I think Markstrom should get a 1-year extension. We need to see Malik and Yegorov take some steps. Yeah, but you don't really know how they're going to develop. I mean, both very promising. I think they're both going to be very good, solid NHL goaltenders. But this team is built to win now. Markey and Allen are win now goalies. Allen signed for 5 years. Who knows how many of them he plays? I do think we end up seeing Markey get a 2-year deal. I don't think he would sign one. I think he gets a 2-year deal, and I would be thrilled. That would solidify our net for the next 2 years, and hopefully we win a damn cup. Ryan, I think the Devils wanted 8x8 and Luke wanted 6x9, so they settled 1 extra year and 1 extra mil from both sides. That's certainly an interesting could be. We'll probably never know. True Patriot, did Kobe get put on LTIR? Not as of yet. Philip, yo, Ace, I'm currently in AI class in university. What's going on, man? What a time. I would have walked out of the... If I was in college or something like this, I probably would have left. Vladimir, put Ellen Hughes on the board of directors and Quinn is ours. Oh, man, I'm just trying to... Andrew, what's next? Does someone get moved now? Either deals or guys move to LTIR. We will lose, or at least a guy in Kovacevic. We will see how Fitz makes this work, but I'm sure they have a plan. This has been ongoing for quite some time, and we will see how we become cap compliant. One way or another, it will happen. And your New Jersey Devils are going into the season with Luke Hughes, my friends. Ryder says, don't forget Nemitz will need a contract here shortly, too. Yeah, he's going to get paid. Gritsuk is on a one-year deal. I mean, if he has anywhere near the season a lot of us are expecting, he's going to get some money. My boy Paulie's going to be a free agent, I believe. Diego, with Barkov out, big Selke-sized doors opens for Nico. He's got to be the front runner now, right? Shout out to Mike. Yeah, he is. And one of my buddies told me his Vegas odds to win went from like 8-1 to 2-1. Shout out to Tim. That's pretty crazy. So he is the front runner now. And again, sometimes unfortunate circumstance for others creates opportunity for people elsewhere. And teams in the East and anyone aspiring to win a Selke trophy, the path just got a little bit easier. Justin Smith says, I think Markstrom gets a 3-year extension. Might be a little aggressive, but I wouldn't hate it. I mean, in the end, you could find a way out of some of these contracts if they don't age well. 3 years is, yeah, I mean, they gave Jake 5. It's interesting, though, that people were crying going into last season. Oh, our tandem is so old, blah, blah, blah. And now, like, these guys are going to be here for years beyond that. I have no issue with it. Hopefully they stay healthy and they just continue to be solid. Jay Snow, Nemitz, Cotter, Gritsuk, Markey all need contracts. Jesse, I wouldn't be surprised if Nemitz is involved in whatever happens with Quinn. I think you're way more likely to see Dougie in a potential deal like that, or maybe Dougie in a separate deal. But it would make sense that he would be included in a deal for Quinn. But I'm not so sure that the Devils are going to, look to pay the price for I'm trying to wow. It's a lot. It's a lot, guys. This was an intense day. Intense morning. But yeah, you'd imagine in a world where Quinn was coming here, that would mean that Dougie is most likely not going to be here, which I'm okay with. I don't want to trade Dougie. I've talked about this for a while. But if Quinn is coming here, I could accept not having Dougie here in terms of just kind of making sure our defense doesn't take any major regression. And this just came in a little while ago. Someone just sent, shout out to whoever sent this to me because I just jumped on here and had to do all this. From Pierre LeBrun, Devils and Hughes camp led by agent Pat Brisson were focused on a 6-year deal for the longest time and remained far apart on what a 6-year deal would look like. Going to be a 7-year deal instead, plus the Devils finally willing to go to $9 million, sealed the deal. Yeah, so they were trying to get a little bit shorter. Fitz was probably looking for a little less money. In the end, there was concessions made on both sides. They went up to 7 years. Fitz came up to 9 from whatever he was at, and away we go. And away we go. We are off to the races, my friends. Luke Hughes. Pro Bolt says, I hope we keep Nemitz. So do I. Ryder 64, maybe Casey. We should keep Nemo. I mean, we have an abundance of riches on the blue line. There's a lot of options. I would love to see all these kids become NHL mainstays with the Devils, but when you have Salayev looming for next season, we just have a lot of guys on defense, and they're not all going to make it with the team long term. And so you'd think at some point we will see at least one of these young defensemen packaged for forward help. I mean, I just can't see how that's not the case. Yeah, thank you. I think I just pulled that up. True Patriot Ace, how did they maneuver with this cap and other salary issues? We're going to find out. They don't have to be cap compliant yet. So we're going to see. It's either going to be a trade or series of trades or using the LTIR money. We'll see how it all gets smoothed out for cap compliance. Pro Bowl forever. Next, we need a top 6 winger. Would love to see it. And that could be a deadline type of situation. Does this team show enough during the regular season to give Fitzy the confidence to say, you know what? This team's looking good. They're looking damn good. How do I put them in the best position to make a true run and maybe add something at the deadline? We'll see. Jason says if Glendening signed somewhere else, I think we screwed with Lamico. We'll see how that happens. What goes on with that. 4C, an interesting kind of roster spot. True Patriot Ace, want that studio looking up the shape by season opener. I got about a week. It will be done. It might get done. It might be a project tonight. Damien, I think the framework for a Quinn deal, if we were to do one, is Quinn for Dougie and one of Nemitz or Casey. Picks added as necessary to make the deal work. Who says no? Yeah, it's a tricky one. I could see something like that. You're getting the veteran D and Dougie, a young promising D, and then picks. Yeah, it's tough. I could kind of make the argument for both, I think, in that, depending on what the picks are. The devil is in the details for me on that one, because that one is really it could be very interesting. I could see both ways. True Patriot says, can't let Paulie C walk. That's a must sign. Love Paulie. All right, guys, listen, I'm wrapping up. I got something to do. I will be back tonight. I mean, how am I not going to be back tonight, right? I mean, wow. Got stuff to do, but had to come breaking in on the emergency live. Shout out to everyone for coming. The drama is over, baby. Luke Hughes is here for 7 years, $9 schmilly a year. I think great deal for both sides. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Congrats to Fitzy for standing his ground. If this came out at like 10 or 10 and a half, I mean, I'd be happy that Luke was here, but I would have been a little perturbed by the money, because that's on the, that's 10 and a half. That's not leaving too much meat. You got to leave the meat. All right, guys, but I'll be back later. Lots to discuss. Hopefully more details are going to come out throughout the day. There'll be a lot to recap tonight. I will return with all the news and things that come out throughout this glorious day. But enjoy your Wednesday, folks. It is a great day in New Jersey Devils fanland. Luke is here. Fitz gets it done. 63 mil. I'll be back later. Thank you all for watching. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. And it'll be interesting to follow the saga throughout the day. But thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.